So this has been my physique for over the last 4 years, and I've managed to stay pretty lean throughout some pretty strange and difficult personal circumstances. So I know that it is possible to stay in shape no matter what season your life is in. So this video I'm going to teach you how to do that. Number 1 is how to get lean, and number 2 is how to stay lean. Let's go. So the first part is how to get lean, and you've really got two options with this. You either track your calories or you follow a meal plan. Now, these two are the best options in terms of maximizing the chance of being in the deficit, because you need to be in a deficit to be able to lose weight and lose fat, right? So each of them have their pros and cons. So for example, if you like tracking your calories, if you track your calories, you can eat very, very flexibly. So you can pick and choose whatever you want to eat, but then the downside is that you have to log what you're eating on a daily basis to make sure you're on track. Then you've got the meal plan. The benefit of that is that you don't need to think much because everything's already set out for you. So if you eat the foods that's on the plan, you're already going to be hitting the target calories, but then the downside is that it's a little less flexible. And if you want to find the calories that you need to be eating to lose weight, then I'll leave a link in the description for you to do that. Cool. Now part 2 on how to get lean is that you basically just need to maintain part 1. Because if you're doing that properly and for enough time, there is absolutely no reason that you should be losing fat. So you basically need a way to stick with it, and this can vary from person to person, but here are some things that I would recommend that you do based off what I've done and what my clients are doing. To maintain that deficit, first you focus on your sleep. You have better mood, better energy, your fat oxidation increases, plus you have better hormonal regulation. Number 2 is regular resistance training, so hitting the gym 2 to 3 times a week. You get an endorphin release, which basically uplifts your mood. You can build some muscle, which is nice to see some progress visually, and you can improve your metabolism as well, which will help you lose weight. Number 3 is habit tracking. So if you track your habits visually, it massively increases the likelihood of you staying with those inputs. It's called the Seinfeld strategy, and it is super, super useful. It's something that I've implemented with every single sort of win in my life, whether it's health, religion, business, whatever it is, and it's literally what my clients are doing at the same time. The visual tracking is so powerful. I promise you, just start doing that. You can do it on a piece of paper, you can do that on Google Sheets, you can do it on an app like Notion, whichever one, but just start doing it. So next is accountability. Having some sort of support system, maybe a mentor, maybe a coach, maybe older brother, someone who knows what they're on about, so then you can actually ask them and get advice from them. This is how I made my transition, because I had actually a coach when I first got lean and ready for the first time. So find what works for you. Obviously I'm biased being a coach myself because we've got the experience, but if you can afford it, do it. If not, find something else that can keep you accountable. And the last point is actually just pick a side. Don't be a degenerate and at the same time try to get lean and shredded. In my opinion, it doesn't really work because you're in limbo. Your brain's not decided which person you want to be, which identity you want to choose. You watching this video, I really believe that you have the mental strength to decide what kind of person you want to be. I believe you've got the mental strength to leave behind drugs, overconsumption of alcohol, binge eating, messing up your sleep, having no routine. You can overcome that you can. Just choose your character. Like in a video game, just choose a character that you want to be and just commit to that. If you want to be the lean, athletic, good looking, shredded guy, then just pick that guy and do what he's meant to do. And just start doing the actions that align with that person's identity. And if you're ever unsure, what do I do? Then just imagine in your mind, what would Nathan do in this situation? Or what would someone who you look up to who's in good shape, like Cristiano Ronaldo for example, what would he do in this situation? If you start thinking like that, the answers will literally come to you. So part 2 is how to stay lean. And the first thing I'd recommend is finding a new goal, a new reason to stay lean. Listen to this, right? A study done by the National Weight Control Registry found that 80 to 90% of people who lose a significant amount of weight eventually regain it. This highlights the challenge of maintaining weight loss long term. Now, why do I think that is? I think it's because they got the dream physique that they were after, but now that they're there, they don't see the point of continuing. They didn't really have another goal, so they ended up falling off. So my recommendation is, once you've made it, you need a new driver to take you to the next level, to maintain consistency. Now, I've seen thousands of people get in shape and fall off. It's such a common occurrence, especially being in this space and working in this space. So here's some examples of goals based off of my experiences and what the clients I've worked with have told me. Now, this is completely individual, this is just to give you some ideas. So number 1, being lean to have energy to play with kids. Number 2, being lean to have strength to go on hikes, go for walks, when you go on holiday, explore properly. Number 3, being lean to reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, obesity. Number 4, being lean to maximize your self-confidence and attraction. Number 5, being lean to set an example, either being a leader in a workplace or being a leader within the family. Now, obviously this can tailor completely depending on who you are, what you're working towards, but promise you, find another goal once you've got in shape. Otherwise, it'll be very, very hard for you to maintain the physique you've got. And me personally, I would not be able to stay in this shape if I didn't have another more important goal apart from just looking good once I got that physique. So the second part on how to stay lean is actually just being more active. Implement some steps, go play sports, do swimming, whatever it is, just start to become more active. I personally wouldn't be just so fixated on the gym because the interest can change, right? I went through a phase during my last year when I sort of got bored of the gym, but then I went and picked up Muay Thai instead and I started martial arts. See, the game isn't just to focus on going to the gym, the game is to exercise. Is to maintain the habit of working out. So if there's another interest area for you, then follow that interest. Make sure you're exercising. That is the number one priority. So right now for me, I'm doing sort of a hybrid split. So I'm doing calisthenics training, focusing on bodyweight movements, using the rings, practicing some cool moves. And on top of that, I'm doing my normal weighted hypertrophy style exercises to bring up my body parts. So I found a sort of split at the moment, which I like. But it may vary in a year or two because the game for me isn't just to go to the gym, it's to stay active. Now there's literally a million different varieties of exercises that you can do. So I promise you there is one that fits your interests. The third way to stay lean is to actually adjust for your specific lifestyle and the phase of life that you're in right now. So I can't train and eat and sleep and do the things the same way that I did when I was at uni while I'm running a business right now. There obviously has to be changes. This can be the same for you if you're newly married, if you've had a kid, if you're in a really intense business season or work season or study season. You have to adjust for that season. So for example, if the gym is too far, then buy dumbbells and a pull-up bar at home and do an exercise session at home 3 times a week. You have no excuse for not training 3 times a week if it's at your doorstep. If nutrition is the challenge, if you've got the money, invest in a meal prep companies who can deliver the food to your doorstep. Simple, save time, make it more efficient. So Robert Kiyosaki had this really important quote. A statement closes the mind, but a question opens the mind. Instead of telling yourself, right, I'm doing my final year of uni so I don't have time to train. Ask yourself, how can I find time to train while I'm doing my final year of uni? If you've just got married, don't say to yourself, oh, now I'm newly married, I don't have time to eat properly. Ask yourself, so how can I find time with my wife or find ideas with my wife to be able to eat cleaner and healthier? There's always an option there if your mind is open to it. Keep that in the back of your head. And number 4, how to stay lean is just honestly staying on top of those daily habits. There is no magic pill, there is no sauce. You just do those same things every single day and it will become so easy, so effortless, so almost brainless for you to do it. You'll just do it automatically. That's how you will stay in shape, when it becomes automatic, when you don't need to think about it. Though this is especially the case with food. So right now I'm not tracking and I'm not having a meal plan or anything like that. I'm just intuitively eating, right? Because I've tracked and learned so much about food that right now for me to stay lean and the physique I've got, I don't actually need to do those things because you built the experience up. So you will get to that point as well, but you just need to work until you do. Then staying lean really is a breeze in my opinion. But that's it from me. Goodbye.